Well, hello. Good evening, everyone. Facebook community. Alejandro Tornato here, coming directly from Beaufort, Georgia. And today, happy Friday to all of you. And I just want, before I forget, I want to wish every single person a happy Labor Day and a Labor Day weekend. Enjoy, re energized, spend time with loved ones and family, and make it a great weekend. Stay healthy, stay well, maintain, be safe, maintain social distancing and hygiene, and wash your hands and do whatever you need to do according to the guidelines. We want to continue seeing the numbers going down, and eventually this pandemic behind us and completely out of the picture. That's the intention. So today, I want to share with you a lesson titled "Share Common Experiences." Share common experiences. To really connect with others, you have to do more than find common ground and communicate well. Really, I remember that was a while ago. I did a presentation which I entitled "Are You Communicating or Connecting?" Because there is definitely a difference. I mean, John Maxwell wrote a book about the power of connection, the power of connection, um, and um, and it's sometimes, I mean, people misunderstand um, the fact that communication and connection for some people is the same thing, and they're not the same thing. The book by John Maxwell is everyone communicates, few connect. And um, and and it is true, because a lot of people communicate, but not many people have that ability to connect with others. So connecting with people has to do more with than just having common ground and communication. It goes beyond. You need to find a way to cement the relationship. Now, Joseph F. Newton said the following, and I want you to pay attention to this. He said, "People are lonely because they build walls instead of bridges." Now, how powerful that is. Indeed, I mean, when we think about it, you see, sometimes, I mean, when we talk to people and when we communicate with people, we are building walls around us. And when you build walls, what happens? I mean, walls are very important. They are important. But walls in the wrong place would keep us from reaching other people. Walls in the wrong place would keep us from connecting with people. And so instead of walls, and walls are important, walls, they need to be built. Don't misunderstand me. But when you are trying to connect with another human being or with a group of people, if you're a speaker and you are on a platform speaking, on stage speaking, and connecting with a group of people, the worst that we can do as speakers is building walls. We don't want to build any wall. On the other hand, what we want to do instead is building a bridge that would help us to walk toward the people that we want to connect with, and to let those people or that person, if it's one-on-one, to walk toward us. Okay? And so is that invisible but very real bridge of connectivity between us and them, and between them and us, where we can freely walk, and where we can freely exchange ideas, and where we can freely get to know one another at a much deeper level. You know, it's very easy and it's very simple to communicate and to chit-chat at surface level. See, this is skin level. And to communicate at skin level, very superficial communication, is very easy. It doesn't take too much effort. As a matter of fact, it doesn't take too much thinking to do that. But if you really want to get to know another human being, and if you want to let another human being get to know you, then it will not happen. It will never ever happen at skin superficial level. You have to penetrate and get deeper. You have to go below the surface. You have to begin digging a little bit deeper. And what happens? Why is it that we connect with other people when we go deeper, when we dig deeper? It's because of a simple concept. If you want to find gold, if you want to find gems and diamonds, you will never ever find them at the surface of a mine. You would have to dig very, very deep in order to find it. Otherwise, you will not. So, things that are worthy and of great value to find, my friends, you would have to work harder at getting at them. They're not easily reached at the surface. You have to begin going down, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. And how do you do that? Well, by sharing common experiences, by asking questions. Not superficial questions, because then we go back to superficiality, but asking deeper and more meaningful questions. Now let me, when I talk about questions and the importance of questions. First of all, let me share with you a quote or a statement by a human behavior scientist or consultant by the name of John Demartini. And I saw John Demartini doing an interview. He was being interviewed, and the topic was about the importance of questions. And John Demartini said the following. He said, and I will never forget about that, because it was to me, at the time that I heard it, it was quite profound. He said, the quality of a person's life is directly related or dependent upon the quality of the questions you ask. Let me repeat that for you. The quality of your life, the quality of my life, is directly related. There is a direct correlation between the quality of our lives and the quality of the questions we ask. As an example, do you want to live a superficial and a shallow kind of life? If that's what you want, then ask silly and shallow questions, meaningless questions. Hey, it's sunny today, isn't it? I mean, do you like sunny days? Do you like rainy days? What kind of days do you like? Do you like cookies? What those kinds of questions. Now, you're going to say, well, but sometimes, to begin a conversation, perhaps, you start with those kinds of questions. Yes, I get the drift. But there are people who not only begin asking those shallow questions, but they spend all of their time with similar quality questions of that shallowness. And they'll never connect with anyone. They'll never get to know people, because you don't get to know people by asking those questions. You know, if you are a leader, John Maxwell wrote a book because John Maxwell truly believes on the importance of asking good questions. And he says, great leaders, and that was the title of the book. He wrote a book about that. It says, great leaders ask good leaders ask great questions, or great leaders ask good questions. But it was the fact that if you're a leader, a good leader, you need to ask great questions, good questions, weighty questions, significant questions, meaningful questions. That's why you are a leader. Now, let me share another quick story for you. And it happened to me years ago. I was living in Salt Lake City, Utah, and at the time, and and I was working in engineering. I was working for an engineering company. I was as a chemical engineer. I mean, I was working designing systems for water purification, and and I used to go to the gym to work out almost every day early in the morning. And I think it was a Saturday morning, that I went to the gym and I worked out and I finished my routine, my workout, and then I was all sweaty, and I went to the restroom to just throw some water in my face. I mean, just to clean up. And as I was doing that, another gentleman walked into the restroom, and he began washing his hands. And so he began looking at me. And so I looked at him, and so we began that kind of a superficial chit chat. Hey, hello, how are you? I mean, I haven't seen you here. I mean, are you having a good morning? I mean, did you have a good workout? It's a beautiful day outside. I mean, the sun was beautiful, was shining. That kind of a conversation. Like I said, chit chat, not too deep, very, very shallow. But this gentleman, older gentleman, long hair with a ponytail, a headband. Then all of a sudden, he turns and looks at me. He looked at me very intentional, directly into my eyes. And he fired a question at me. Now, remember that this was the very first time that I have met this gentleman. I have not met him before. Very first time. And after just a few minutes of that chit chat, then he fired this question to me. He said, "What are you creating today?" Yes, you heard it right. He asked me this. What are you creating today? And he was not that serious. No, he was, that's kind of a normal, I guess for him, that was a normal question. Now to me, that was, at that time, that was a very strange question. What? What are you asking me? What am I creating today? And he said, yes. Yes, what are you creating today? And I guess what I did is, I said, well, just give me a few moments. So I look at the mirror in front of me in that bathroom. And then I said to myself, Alejandro, what are you creating today? Are you creating something? And I can't remember, what I answered him. I think, I would like to create something good for people, or something along those lines. Back in those days, I was not really deep into personal growth, development, leadership, intentionality, conquering limiting beliefs, living a limitless life. No, I was not into that. Soon after that, I began, and looking back and looking at that question, I can truly say today that was a pivotal moment, a turning point moment in my life that for the very first time I realized the tremendous value of a question, and the tremendous value of a question when it came to connecting with a person. And I say that because after that question, we began talking about other subjects, and then we went out of the gym and we stayed outside of that gym talking and connecting, I guess, for way over an hour. And that was because of that connecting effect of a deep and meaningful question. And we share common experiences, but that was as a result of that question. So as I bring this lesson to a close, I want to ask you, are you sharing common experiences with the people that you know? Are you asking? Are you taking the time to really think and to ask the right kinds of questions? Now, I'm not saying that you have to ask the same questions that I was asked. But are you asking questions from people that would allow you to get to know them better, to connect with them in a more intimate kind of way, to really build bonds with people, not just temporary and passing chit chats, but to get to know them, to really experience deeper feelings that come as a result of asking deeper questions. If you're not, I ask you, why not? You see, asking deeper questions requires a level of openness, transparency, vulnerability. But remember, my friends, when you are open, when you are transparent, when you exhibit a level of vulnerability, then those are the elements that would allow you to connect effectively with other people. Those are the elements of connection, deeper questions, openness, transparency, vulnerability. So I encourage you to live your life, if you have not done so up until now, that today you begin to live your life sharing common experiences with other people, connecting with other people, not just communicating with other people. You know, anybody who can open their mouths, they can communicate something. But not many people are able to truly connect, have real connections. I want to close this by relating something that I read quite a while ago. And I don't remember word by word, but I remember this sentence which relates to this. It says, when connections are real, when you establish a connection with someone and that connection is real, that connection lasts forever. That connection is really unbreakable. And that is the beauty of connecting with people. That is the beauty of connecting with people. And so get into that habit of connecting. Get into that habit of wanting to know people. Not just stay at the surface and superficial level. Superficiality will not get you far with people. Is when you show an interest in people and you want to get to know them and allow them to get to know you. And I say, when that happens, my friends, magical things will begin to happen in your life. So thank you so very much. And is that Elizabeth? Elizabeth, I am so glad that you are joining me. And she says, truth, real connections are hard to come by. Thank you for being so supportive. You are absolutely true, Elizabeth. Real connections, and I want all of you, and I don't want to extend this, but I want to say this. Real connections, my friends, are not easy. They're not easy to do and to develop. They take effort. They take determination. They take initiative. But if you do that, the dividends and the payoff is just going to be off the charts. So is worth it. Do it. Thank you so very much. As I always remind you to live every moment, be resilient, and also be kind, be passionate, be intentional, be a true connector, my friends. And until the very best hour, let me remind you that we were not designed with any kinds of limitations. So I encourage you to live your life to the very fullest of your potential, your capability, and make every day a limitless experience. And until the next time that we meet, all the very best. Be well. Have a great Labor Day weekend and be well. Bye-bye.